What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Wager Alarm live stream. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. Today is Wednesday. The weekly card is out for the Supercontest in the Westgate with the lines, and this is where Craig and I kind of check in with those lines. But first, of course, Craig, how are you? And how you feel about what we did last week?
Well, not great, Bob. No. Um, I felt better at the end of the day than I did at the beginning of the day. We really had a bad beat, not the Monday night game, fortunately, but we did take Kansas City over Miami, and the Chiefs did deserve a cover there. Their defense played so poorly at the end of games, at the end of a couple games this year, and in that one in particular, as the game kind of went through there. They did have an opportunity to cover several times. I think they should have. So that was a loss for us. So we ended up going 2-3 instead of 3-2. I would have been fine with 3-2. It was a little bit of a wacky week last week. A lot of the big dogs did not cover, as we saw with Green Bay. Also, we talked about taking either Green Bay or Kansas City, figuring one would cover. Neither did. And so that's kind of where we were at. We were fortunate. We got the Chargers. Finally, we were on the right side of the Chargers there against the Falcons. The battle of who wants to lose it more. That went to the Chargers there, so we picked up that win there. The Colts was also a really good win for us, but unfortunately, we backed Jacksonville again. That was not the right decision. And then what was the final game that we lost there?
Jacksonville, the Chiefs, and I don't even remember. Jacksonville, the Chiefs. I can't even remember.
Buffalo?
Was it? I don't think it was Buffalo. I could go back to wageralarm.com and
Oh, the
look at our ticket.
Panthers. The Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
Panthers against Denver. The difference in the game was the first play of the game. They returned the kick for the touchdown or second play, whatever play that was. That was
Yeah.
it. If they don't do that, Panthers win. Can't make any excuses. Panthers had the ball at the end of the game with a chance, but their defense really let down. I really don't feel all that bad about that pick. I just, when I lose games on special teams or defensive touchdowns, things of that nature, I really don't get that upset. So
Yeah, no, me neither. It was just kind of one of those real oddball weeks for us where the early games disappointed us. The late games took care of us and brought us back a little bit. So that's it. Dust ourselves off. Here we go.
yeah,
Let's take a look at week 15. Let's
okay.
start with the Thursday game because we got Thursday, we've got two Saturday games, and then the rest is Sunday and Monday. Thursday, which is a game that we never take, but
No,
we do kind of make our picks or our leans. Especially again, more COVID stuff popping up again today. The Ravens losing their entire receiving core, the Bucks losing Ronald Jones out of their backfield. So we like to err on the side of caution here a little bit. And yeah, so Raiders though home favorites against the Chargers. They're giving 3. If you had to make a pick here, Craig, just a lean somewhere, where would it be?
sure. Yeah, the Raiders have played so poorly, but I would take the Raiders on Thursday night. I would. Look, we needed every single mistake from Atlanta to go right for the Chargers to win that one. And I gotta say, of all the picks that we've had this year, I may be the most proud of us going with the Chargers there because that thing played out exactly the way that I thought it would. Like literally, the Chargers on fourth down on the 1 yard line, they forgot to kick a field goal. They went to the half. They didn't get any points. Chargers get the ball, throw an interception to Atlanta. I'm like, oh, Atlanta's gonna win. No, not so fast. Matt Ryan throws an interception, and then the Chargers get the ball back. Meanwhile, the coaching staff of the Chargers are like, okay, we got Justin Herbert. Let's have him throw 4 yard passes every time, see if that works. So Herbert's numbers were like 35 of 39 for like 150 yards. I mean, both those teams are just bad. I think the Raiders are better than the Chargers here. I just thought it was a really good spot for the Chargers and an overreaction in the line. We got a really good line last week because they got so slaughtered the week before by New England. And I'm not going to use that Chargers win as any kind of positive thing.
Well, come on, you're not gonna build off of that.
I mean, their defense is terrible. I like the over. I don't know what the total is in that, but um, I would take the Raiders Thursday
The
night.
total in this one is 53.
Yeah, it's pretty high actually. But yeah, I think I would take the Raiders, lean over, but we won't use the pick. I like the Chargers as a dog, but more so again when they're coming off a really bad game, and they won that one. So no, I don't think there's an advantage here.
I don't think there's an advantage here. Although I tell you what, to be honest, I mean, the Raiders have lost like their entire secondary. Also, they've got a
Hmm.
lot of injuries in the secondary. I don't know if the Chargers are going to have Mike Williams back at all for this, but I'm glad that you know what I don't really have a lot of great luck with the Raiders overall. So I will happily I will lean Raiders with you, and then
I'll
let's
go the
move
other
on.
way. I would almost guarantee the Chargers make some really bad mistake in this game. That's the only thing that I would like something that we're going, oh my gosh, did that really happen? That's probably coming Thursday.
All right, let's take a look at the Saturday slate. Now, if we wanted to make picks here, we would have to get all five of our picks in
Mm,
Friday late afternoon. So let's take a look at what we've got
yeah.
and just kind of go from there. You got
Okay.
Packers. Well, the early game is actually the Broncos at home against the Bills, and then that's 6.5 points that the Bills are favored by. Packers home favorites against the Panthers. That's 8.5. Um, Man, I feel so dirty saying this, but Broncos home 6.5 points. I might lean in that direction here. I think it's the first game that I pointed out to you when we first started talking.
Yeah, the Broncos have been great at home through the years. It's a Saturday afternoon game, mile high. You know, in the second half, Buffalo's going to get tired. The question is, can Denver hang? Look, Buffalo's defense, while it's not the best in the NFL, it's a lot better than the Panthers. I think that's definitely the case. So, the dynamic of having these games picked on a Friday for a Saturday and a Sunday is just, I don't know that that's something I really want to entertain. I think that in a normal year, I would say that looks like a really good pick. Let's go with it. But are we sacrificing a game on Sunday? That's a really big risk for us. We're so close to the cut line and making money. And let's say hypothetically we were to take Tampa Bay, and then we
Right.
find out Tom Brady's out, right? Like, I mean, these are not impossible things in this COVID stuff. So I suppose that when we come back on Saturday, we'll let people know if we ended up taking a Friday game, because that's basically the story here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you had to lean, you're with me on the Broncos, I
Yes.
think, right? And
Yes.
then lean Packers, giving that 8.5 here.
No. No.
Okay. Lean
Lean
Panthers.
Panthers also. Yeah.
Heavy Mike Davis game. Very heavy Mike Davis game, I feel like. All right, so let's move on to the Sunday games. Let's start with the early slate there. First two on the card. Uh, Colts, a 7-point favorite over the Texans. Titans at home, an 11-point favorite over the Lions. Now, we don't know if it's going to be Stafford or Chase Daniel under center for the Lions. So again, if we're pivoting off of a Saturday game and we're not going to take it, it's one of these things. Like if Chase Daniel's under center, like how do you not just lock in the Titans?
Yeah, and I think that in a week like this, for those of you who are doing pools, like amongst friends and family and things like that, we almost never get involved in big line games one way or the other. I don't think we have a choice this week. We're going to have to. There are just so many big lines of a touchdown or more that we're kind of forced into it. So the Texans to me are interesting because they're playing again at their lowest point. They got absolutely blown out, destroyed, annihilated against the Bears. And that's a good spot for me, usually taking a team like that, but more so taking them when they're at home. And Houston is not at home here. They're having to go to the Colts. So I don't know how thrilled I am with that, but if I did lean, it would be a letdown for the Colts and a Texans +7. I'm with you on Tennessee. If I knew Stafford was out, it would have to be taking Tennessee. I got to tell you, if we're going to take a big line, maybe we just take the Rams. Maybe we just do it because we don't have a lot of choices this week. And I'm not taking the Jets. The Rams play good defense. Seems to me, aren't they coming off extra rest too, right? They played on Thursday night
They played
and
on Thursday
and they
night,
looked
extra
really good.
rest, strong D. Yeah. Yeah.
So and Jets coast to coast deal there too. So I mean, when push comes to shove, it may not be my favorite pick, but I may be willing to lay the points this week. We don't have a lot of choices. We're going to go through these games, and you're going to see there's a lot more that are like this.
There definitely are. All right. So I like your lean there. I like your lean to the Rams a whole lot more than I like your lean on the Texans here. So
Okay.
let's just keep going down the card. Now, some of these are out of order. Like the card itself is not in order with the times on some of these games. So like the Rams game is a later game. It's a 4 p.m. game Eastern.
Right.
But keep moving down here. The Bucks 6-point favorites over the Falcons. Bucks are on the road here. Again, a COVID situation that we're dealing with. Dolphins at home against the Patriots. Patriots are an underdog by 2. This is Belichick going up against a rookie quarterback. And then the Seahawks. They're traveling to Washington. They don't really travel across country too well. We've seen some evidence of that. The football team getting 5 points in this one. Where do you stand?
Well, Bucks Falcons, I'm not going to lean anything at this point. I think we got to get more information on that one before we go down that road. There's a few things in play here. Dolphins always play very well against New England at home historically, very well. Last year, Miami was a massive underdog at New England, and they went there and won. So is this like a revenge Belichick type thing? I'm not sure. It is a odd line. I would have had Miami a little bit more of a favorite here, but New England is only getting 2, so it does tell me, wow, maybe the Patriots really do have a shot in this one. So probably lean New England, I guess, in that. And then how can you get involved in Seattle, Washington, not knowing who's at quarterback? I am not backing Haskins as much as I love the way that Washington has played. They've been great against the spread. But Alex Smith is just a stable guy that in general is not going to make a lot of mistakes. The second they put Haskins in that game last week, they were in their own goal line. He almost threw an interception for a touchdown. So if you told me Alex Smith was playing, I would lean Washington, but Haskins, I'd probably go right the other way. Honestly, if Haskins was playing, I would lay the points with Seattle.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. Well, listen, these are the things that we need to know, and why we're waiting right now. So next couple of games here, Vikings a home favorite against the Bears. That's just a 3-point spread. You've got the Ravens, who are a 12.5-point favorite over the Jaguars. Ravens are at home, and then the Browns traveling to the Giants. This is actually the Sunday night game. Giants getting 4.5. They are the home dog in this one. I'm sure a lot of people are sitting there thinking, well, the Browns put up all those points on the Ravens and the back and forth there. Giants might be without Daniel Jones, probably out without Daniel Jones, though.
Yeah, so going from beginning to end here, I think that Minnesota-Chicago, that's a tough one to call for me there. I don't know that I have a great feel for that one. Jacksonville sort of let us down last week. They've gone back to Minshew here, and they're getting 12.5 points. So my temptation would be there, and a little bit of a letdown for Baltimore. I think maybe even a letdown for the Browns a little bit too. I don't know that I'm scared away with Colt McCoy at quarterback for the Giants there.
Revenge game narrative?
Yeah, and look, the Browns played very deep into the night. It was a very quick turnaround for them on Monday night. I would guess that the second half there could be a little fatigue there. Giants are pretty good against the run, and when they've been a dog, they've been fantastic. Really, the Giants all year. I know they didn't cover the spread last week against Arizona, but I think the Giants made a mistake playing Daniel Jones. He just didn't look good. So maybe Colt McCoy keeps this thing close. I think I would lean Giants.
Okay. All right. Thoughts on Vikings, Bears, Ravens, Jags?
Really.
Not really.
I would take Minnesota. I don't buy what the Bears did. I'd probably take Minnesota.
Okay. Cardinal. This is the line. All right. So here you go. This is the line that really stood out to me the most when we look for those fishy lines. Cardinals at home, 6-point favorite over the Eagles. Now, okay, so the Cardinals go in, they beat the Giants. All right. And Daniel Jones looks terrible in the beginning of the game. Eagles go in, they beat the hell out of the Saints. Jalen Hurts makes his debut. Miles Sanders suddenly blows up doing well with the read option. How in the world, tell me here, how in the world are the Cardinals a 6-point favorite over the Eagles, at least based on what we saw?
Yeah, I suppose maybe the thought is that Hurts could make a mistake. There's some video there now, and the Cardinals could take advantage of that. But that Cardinals win last week against the Giants was probably their most impressive win in 2 months. So I'm with you. I don't think they deserve to be 6-point favorites almost ever anybody in the NFL right now. And while they did beat the Giants last week, it was really a bunch of field goals. They didn't really move the ball all that well. The Cardinals had the ball a lot. They didn't really do a lot with it. So I don't know. I don't know why the line is inflated as much as it is. I think we'll have the Eagles this week. I agree.
All right. Last two games on the daytime here. Chiefs traveling to New Orleans. They're a 3-point favorite here over the Saints. 49ers head over to Dallas. Dallas is a home dog by 3.
Well, the Chiefs haven't covered 2 weeks in a row, so we want to go right back there and say it's not going to happen a third time in a row.
What could possibly go wrong?
So Taysom Hill is definitely starting for the Saints. Is that right?
I mean, it's not 100%. I think they're at like 90%, though.
Well, how would you feel if you knew Drew Brees was starting?
If I knew Drew Brees was starting, I would probably take the Chiefs and lay the points. I think because there's a lot of expectations here for Brees. If he's starting, I don't necessarily know if he's ready yet.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a very public game. It's usually not one that I want to get on that side with because the line is just so tight here. I mean, it's like going against a trend, which is Chiefs not covering. So I don't know that I'm comfortable taking Kansas City. But the Saints, I kind of like the Saints actually a little bit here. I don't know. I feel like the Saints, because of what happened last week, are really 3-point underdogs for no reason at all. I think they have a chance to win. So. Tough one. Tough game here.
Yeah,
Just the
their
lead.
defense has been really, really good. Last week was like this weird abomination. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
they just
it was
weren't.
odd.
They just weren't prepared. That's yeah. All right, 49ers Cowboys. I mean, we're not touching that. We're not touching Dallas. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like, how does San Francisco come off being 3-point favorites in this game? And then you think, and it's like, how was Dallas 3-point favorites last week over the Bengals? I need more time on this game to like understand it a little bit more. I suppose. I mean, here's my thought. I suppose if they're telling us the 49ers are much better, that's what they're saying is the 49ers are a much better team than the Cowboys for them to be laying 3 on the road. So my lean would be the 49ers. It's kind of, I got to go with what the line is telling me. Remember, last week when I was shocked that Dallas was 3.5-point favorite against the Bengals.
Right.
And I said, well, I cannot understand that based on the way Dallas played, but it tells me that Dallas is probably going to win and cover. It's probably the same thing this week. If they're making the 49ers 3 on the road at Dallas, it must mean that Mostert and those dudes are just going to run all over them, and the Cowboys are going to get beat. So I would lean San Francisco.
All right. Let's wrap things up with a little Monday night action. Another big spread. Steelers on the road in Cincinnati. They're taking on the Bengals. They're a 12.5-point favorite. I mean, the Bengals look terrible, dude. There's no way I can like justify taking them, even with like the thoughts of a backdoor cover. There's no ground game at all. Brandon Allen looks terrible. They've got 2 wide receivers who I like, but like the Steelers don't really have to do a whole lot to keep the Bengals down. I think what it comes down to is, does the Steelers offense play down to the Bengals level that you do worry about the backdoor cover?
Can we take Steelers minus 6.5 in the first half?
You want to tease this? We'll tease this.
Well, the Steelers seem to be fine in the first half of all these games. They look like the Steelers in the first half of every game, and then the second half comes, and it's like they can't score, they can't stop anybody. I don't get it. So I'm with you. I could not play the Bengals, but it's Steelers again. Didn't the Steelers play a wacky? Yeah, they played that crazy afternoon game against the Bengals where the Bengals had a JV team and they couldn't cover against them.
Yeah.
So, well, look, we have not been good on Monday night anyway. So it's probably a pass for me on that one. But I think we come out of this, honestly, with a few decent leans here. I feel like we have at least one, maybe 2.
We're the Rams over the Jets, sure.
Think we're going to take the Rams. It's not. This will be the biggest point spread we've laid in 2 years, probably. But what are the other options? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
every line is big. So yeah, so I think I think the Rams probably win 31-0 or something like that. So I could see that. The Jets are like just done. I mean, last week was just so bad against Seattle. Did they stay out west or did they go back? Well, let's check. Let's check on that one.
I do not know if they stayed out
Yeah, let's
west.
check on that one. Okay.
We are being told by our producer Matt Sells they cannot stay out west due to COVID protocols. They have to go back home.
Okay, so we'll take the Rams. We'll lay those points. Unfortunately, we'll have to do that. We'll probably take the Eagles +6. I think we're locked in on those two, at least strong leans. We both see New England a little bit, but I'd like more time on that. I kind of lean San Francisco. The more I'm thinking about it, I kind of think the 49ers are going to beat the Cowboys pretty bad.
I'm okay with that. And you know what? And I'll say this: there's even talk. They don't know if Kyle Shanahan said he wasn't going to commit yet to Nick Mullins. So, I mean, even if it's C.J. Beathard, I think I'm still okay with that.
Yeah, Beathard actually would be a game where the game would be a lot closer, but less mistakes, I feel like. I think that he doesn't take those risks. Kittle may be back, right? Isn't that a possibility?
Yeah, they said it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, okay. All right. I also, a very easy one for me with Seattle and Washington. If Haskins is the quarterback, I definitely would take Seattle. Definitely. Absolutely would lay the 5 on the road.
And we were also talking about the fact that if Stafford is not under center for the Lions, that we would take the Titans.
We would. So pretty good with the dogs with taking Philadelphia. We're going to need to come up with another dog for sure, or we're going to get slaughtered. So we're going to have to make sure we're in on another underdog before Sunday, at the very least 2. We really should use 3 or 4, honestly. But we definitely have to have at least 2.
All right, yeah. You can try and keep talking me into these Texans, man. I just don't know if I'm going to budge on.
Take the team that gets blown out the week before. It's magic. Except for the Jets. Don't take the Jets.
Except for the Jets. You just keep going against the Jets, no doubt. All right, that's going to do it for us here today. Remember, tune in on Friday, Sports Grid. Craig and I will be giving you an even deeper look into the leans that we're looking at right now. And then Saturday back here, the Wager Alarm live stream, we will be making our we'll probably either have finalized our picks if we do opt to take a Saturday game, but chances are we'll be just making our picks on Saturday.
Yeah, and the other thing that I do feel a little bit bad about, and I know we talked about it previously, we have not talked about it recently, I guess because I didn't really fully understand the dynamic of it. But every year, you and I have done the college bowls, but there are 20 bowl games with no teams right now, and there's like a lot in flux. I did not realize that the Saturday games this Saturday are predicated on all of the college bowl games, which begin Monday. So essentially, there are like 3 or 4 bowl games that have been picked, and the rest have not. So it may be the kind of thing where we kind of pick as we go with these games, I suppose. Maybe we'll give out some leans as we go. But the college bowls start next week, and then after that, it's like a lot of TBD versus TBD with time and date and place in some spots. So it breaks my heart to not do every college bowl game and have them here. So I don't know how we'll proceed, but we'll do the best we can.
There you go. We'll play it by ear. That's all we can do. It's 2020. In the realm of that's so 2020, Craig and Howard don't get to pick all the bowl games like we want. So we'll figure it out. No doubt about that. But thanks so much for all of you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate that. Big thanks to our producer, Matt Sells. For Craig Mish, I'm Howard Bender. This has been the Wager Alarm live stream, and we'll catch you next time.